If you have sales reps on your team and they aren't performing and you're not sure why, this video is going to be so important for you to find the holes in your sales reps game and be able to come up with a solution to solve the problem and help them move forward every single week. So what we find is that most sales leaders focus on results as opposed to the activities. They'll focus on things like how many visits or how many calls versus how many sales, right? This is the result. Here's one activity to the result. The problem is, what if this conversion rate is low? What if it's really low? Then you don't know specifically what the problem is. And so in this scenario, you'll do things like ride-alongs, you'll do things like call recordings, you'll try to find the problem in that sales rep's game. However, you don't have the facts. You don't actually have the numbers. And so a simple way to do this, and you can do this with a spreadsheet, it doesn't matter if you have a CRM, you should have one, but if you don't, it doesn't matter. But what we need to do is figure out what are all the activities that your sales rep does in your pipeline and where are those specific holes that they have. So it could start with how many calls are they making? How many of these calls are turning into a demo? How many of those demos are turning into a proposal? How many of those are turning into an agreement? And then how many of those are closing? Now, I just came up with those, but you might have different activities. The reason that knowing these on a daily and weekly basis is so important is so that we can find the holes, right? So for example, if they made 100 calls and they had 60, that's really high, 60 demos, and of those 60, you only sent one proposal, one agreement, and then let's just say it closed. Where's the hole in the game? We know that this is really good, but this is really bad. So then the following week, when you meet with your sales reps, you go, hey, that's the hole in the game. This is where you're going to put your focus, right? So that sales rep's focus every day that week is going to be right here. How do I improve my demo to the proposal? And you might have even additional activities in this gap right here that you can really narrow the focus. And that's when it gets really good. I can't tell you how many times we work with the sales leaders and they don't know the conversion rates of each individual activity. And so you can't solve the problem, right? And so if you know next play and the accountability system, the first thing we need to always do is figure out what's working, what are the things that are going well for them. The second thing is when we study the film, I gotta know the fact. This is film study. What are the facts? Yeah, once we know this is the problem, then we know what calls to listen to, right? That's part of this as well, but I gotta know the facts. Then we can come up with the adjustments and determine the play based on the film. So, okay, we know the hole is right here. Because it's here, let's watch some of these demo videos. And then we can find where the problem is. Oh, well, when you're doing the demo, you're not overcoming this objection, or you're not doing a good enough job on the discovery and the questions that you're asking. Let's adjust those questions. Then you can determine the play, which would be, here's the questions we're not asking. The play is this week, our focus is to ask this, this, and this question. Let's really dive into it and understand them. And then you do this every week. And this is how you see exponential growth within sales reps, but it starts with knowing the facts. You gotta know the facts. So always, first thing is make sure you're measuring the activities. And if you're saying right now, well, I'm not sure how to get this numbers, or it's gonna be way too much work for my team, here's one simple suggestion. At the end of every day, it takes your team 5 minutes. Have them submit these numbers to you in an email. It's very simple. Hey, how many calls did I make? How many demos? How many proposals? How many agreements did I send? And how many closed? And they send this to you every week. There's a lot of psychology behind journaling the night before, right? Or thinking about the day the night before. And so this is also something that does that. You get this numbers, you put it into a sheet, you can measure their conversions. And when you meet with them and you study film, you can give them a laser focus, which will be their next play. And this is gonna help them exponentially get better and improve their performance. And it's gonna give you clarity on what they can improve on. So this is Richie Contardi with Next Play, and I hope this helped.